afọ ahụ mbu n'elu nyere unu ọwa ọganiru nyere unu ọwa edema nyere unu ike nke Chukwu ka abịa. All right. Ụtụtụ ọma nọ. I want to join everybody in saying Happy New Year. Today is the 1st of January, okay, 1/1/23. The long-awaited New Year. In the journey to this day, many people have lost their life. Many, in an effort to meet up with what they perceive that they are supposed to meet up with. Many, out of frustration and for so many reasons. Yet, we are here, and there is nothing special about today on the physical level. And if you want 2024 to be different, to be a better year for you, then the journey begins now. The race for 2024 has begun. The race for 2024 has begun. Because it is what you do in 2023 that will determine how you will start 2024. True or false?
True.
Everything that happened to you within 2022 determined how you arrived into 2023. And so, we need to start on the right note. And I will be discussing a brief topic I titled Commanding the Year for Success. The word success is ambiguous because to many people there are different definitions of success. Somebody came here yesterday. He said that in the beginning of the year he made a vow with the spirit of the year, what he wanted, and he promised to offer a ram as sacrifice when he achieved it. And he said that he could not be able to bring the ram, but that he achieved what he desired. He wanted to buy a truck that would be lifting oil. And eventually, he succeeded in buying the truck. But the problem he had was that he could not meet up with his agreements. And he came to ask if he can renegotiate to postpone it. So it's up to you. Because sometimes we make agreements and we forget the terms and conditions. And as we are talking, he has issues with the truck and he's on the verge of losing it and was asking me what should he do. I said, I don't know. You know the agreement you made. Go and fulfill it. If you lose it in the process, it's up to you. Now, when we talk about last year when we started, we explained that there are spiritual forces that control this earth. For the Christians and the Hebrews, there's a place is written in their record that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but with, okay, all right, it said rather, you wrestle with principalities and powers. What else? And he said, please. Spiritual. Okay, spiritual wickedness. In these high places, is it in this physical world?
No.
All right. Now, you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but with powers and principalities. Now, we look at the word wrestle. The problem many people have with many modern interpretations of foreign languages is that they use the wrong word to interpret. Now, what is this? This is an Igbo language. Huh? Uh-huh. This word is aqua. What does aqua mean?
Egg.
Egg. Aqua. What does aqua mean? Aqua. What does aqua mean? Aqua. What does aqua mean?
Right.
When you go interpret it, which one will you use? You see the problem we have with interpretation. Where somebody is interpreting your father's language for you. God was sorry. Now, when he's telling you that you're dealing with, you're relating with forces beyond human understanding. But as he suits the interpreter, he will use any of these words. Am I communicating?
Yes.
And so when any of these words are used, it will be absolutely confusing. Just the way when heaven, what you call heaven, and you call it Eligwe here, but the word heavenlies means the body of waters. It's because Shamayim is the Hebrew word for water. The body of the waters, the middle of the waters. That's why I said the heavenlies. And then here, what does it describe? Eligwe, which is the sky. The interpreter now use the sky above to describe, for the Igbo language, sky above, Eligwe, to describe Shamayim, which is actually waters. And people are deceived with interpretations. And so, I think in any good deal, and we know that water is reality now. What we're saying here is that when you understand this, that there are forces beyond human understanding. That these forces are the spiritual powers that rule this earth. And now, another side is talking about spiritual wickedness. Now, when something does not go the way of a man, he call it wicked. When you flog your child mercilessly for his misdeed, what will he say? That is a wicked man. True or false?
True.
But from your viewpoint, was that wickedness?
No.
That is also man describing something he has no understanding about. Because he does not always have everything he wants the way he wants it. So, but the most important is that it's been established that there are forces beyond human understanding. And so, that these are the forces you are dealing with. When Job was asked, have you commanded your day since you were born? Now the question is, if the word command was actually used in the context of giving order, who are you to authorize to give order to the unseen force of creation? Is it possible? It's not possible. So the word commanding here does not actually mean commanding as giving order. But it also means, have you negotiated? Have you negotiated? That's the word. What does the word negotiate mean? Huh? Okay, ntule, mbarịta ụka, agreement. Discussing in order to reach an agreement. Okay. So you can say, have you discussed? So, discussing the year or negotiating the year for success. Now, when we talk about negotiating, it means that there is a force or a being or an entity or a deity in charge of that year that you will negotiate with. So, again, we talk about deity. Because even if you're talking of command, will you command ordinary air?
No.
For there to be command, there must be a receiver. And a receiver must be something that is tangible or someone that is tangible. Because you cannot command and open this space. So when you're talking about commanding or negotiating, it means that there is a receiver. And so again, when we talk about negotiation, it means that there is also a being that you are negotiating with. And what's the being you're negotiating with? The deity in charge of the year. So we call it the goddess of the year. N'ala Igbo akpọ ya gịnị? Chi na-achị afọ. Ọ kpọ ya ogwugwu afọ. Ndị Igbo na-akpọ ya ogwugwu. Ogwugwu nwanyị, ogwugwu afọ. So the god of the year is the mmụọ na-achị afọ. Every day have a controlling deity in charge or a controlling force. Likewise, the Christian will tell you that there are angels in charge of every day. Then if you look at your calendar of the months of the year, every year have a spiritual name. Every month have a name. The names of the months, of the calendar months as you have it today, were named after some Greek deities and Roman emperors. Like January is the name of a deity, Janus. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Likewise, all the other months of the year. Then, the same thing, the days of the week. You have the Monday that is named after the goddess of the moon, called the moon day. That is the day controlled by the deity moon. Then you have the Tuesday controlled by Thor, the god of Mars. Am I communicating?
Yes.
The Wednesday is controlled by Mercury. Thursday, is it Freya that controls Thursday? Then you have Friday controlled by Venus. Then Saturday by Saturn. Sunday by the sun. So each of these are deities that rule the day. Mana ịkpọ ya n'ala Igbo asị na na-efe arụsị, mana ị na-efe ya on a daily basis. True or false? Ọ bụ eziokwu ka ọ bụ ụgha? Now what we're saying here is that these are the forces of the earth that pre-existed before the advent of man. And there's nothing you can do without relating with them. They are what you call as the elemental forces of creation. Now, when we talk about commanding your day or your year, or negotiating what you want for your year, it means that you must have a negotiating point. You must have a point of discussion. If you are to negotiate with somebody for a product or for anything, of a certainty, you have a place where you sit to discuss. True or false?
True.
So when you talk about negotiating or commanding the year, there must be a meeting point between the mortal and immortal. And what point is that? What point? Where do you negotiate with the unseen forces of creation? An altar. Now, just yesterday night, there was a lot of cacophony, noise everywhere. People praying and kabashing, deciding what they want for the year and what they don't want for the year, making New Year resolutions that at the end of the day, by the end of this month, all those things will be forgotten. Churches made different crossover night programs, conquering the year. By February, they will forget that you have already conquered the year. They will tell you how to overcome your enemy. Another program. By March, they will bring another marching into your success, forgetting that you have conquered it. You see, the problem is that they appeal to the needs of people. But the reality is that you cannot live successfully in life without an altar. Because an altar is a point of negotiation between the spiritual forces and mortals. in describing it, Jacob called the altar the stone wherein he placed his head. The stone where he placed his head. What does the head represent there? No. When you say everybody you were your pillar. Your pillar of hope. And so we started preparing for the year by anchoring the vortex of the year by using image to symbolize the ruling deity of the year. Every altar is always symbolized by a physical tool. It could be a logo, could be an image, it could be a sigil, it could be stone, it could be tree. As in our ancestors, we use tree to represent deities. There are sacred trees we have in our land. Otu a ngwu nọ, ịkpacha iwere ngwu jesi n'ọkụ without even knowing, ọ ga-aga gị ihe n'ahụ. Ịhụ na ọkụ eju n'ahụ gị. Inwe ike ije ego nkụ n'ahịa, ijesi n'ọkụ, ịma ha na ngwu nọ among the nkụ ikiri. Now, there are trees that are natural anchorage. Like you have the Anunebe tree. It doesn't need anything to be added for it to be effective or powerful. Like you have these Oha. Oha is a spiritual vortex. So there are several sacred trees in our land. Moji, which we use the trees, the wood, for carving out image for anchoring deities, because they are natural energy anchors. Am I communicating? Yes. So now what we do in commanding your year, you must have your program, your ideal, what you want to achieve. The purpose is to negotiate with the forces of nature to explain to them what you want for the year. Now, when you have itemized what you want for the year, that is what you call your goals. Your goals for the year. You must first and foremost establish an altar that represents the year in question. When the altar is established, you activate that altar by sacrifice. As long as Africa is concerned, although even beyond Africa, in other climes, you use sacrifice to activate altars. Just that different traditions have different sacrifices with which they activate their altars. I was discussing with somebody, and I was telling him that when Jacob left his father's house to go and serve Laban, he learned certain things from his father. And these things he learned, he had them all well planned out. The knowledge he had, Laban didn't have it. And so when he got there, after serving the man, getting wives from the man, the next thing was to acquire wealth. Then he now negotiated with the man that these animals he's caring for, that he's going to, what we do that when they have anyone that is spotted, let it be for him. The one that are unspotted should be for the man. And Laban readily agreed because he didn't have the knowledge the man had. But what he did was, Jacob was to establish an altar, and they said he used wood. We call it poplar wood, right? He carved image and spotted that image and placed that, and he offered sacrifice. And it was said in the dream, he saw that image as a male bull. The male bull was mating all the female cattle. And then, physically, when those cattle mated, they gave birth to spotted cattle. Because of the command he gave, because of the agreement and negotiation he had with that altar, with the deity in charge of that profession. Every profession have a spirit that is in charge of that profession. Just as you have the territorial entities of your environments, just as you have the spirit in charge of the year, he was able to succeed because he understands the spiritual laws. Then, coming to Abraham, whenever Abraham enters into an environment, the first thing he does was to set up an altar. And this altar was where he always had negotiation with the territorial spirit of the land. Otherwise, how will a foreigner become a king in a foreign land? Do you know Abraham was made a king? He was given a part of the land to rule. That was why he attended the Battle of the Kings, wherein when he was returning back, he met Melchizedek and he offered sacrifice. He saw somebody who was superior and he desired what the person had. He offered sacrifice. Now the hand that giveth is always on top. Now, I will not go more into details on the condition that made him to be a king there. To be another day, a topic for another day. But what I'm trying to establish here is that when you set up an altar, you must have your goal crystallized. What purpose or what target do you have for the year that you present to the deity of the year? To say the year. How many of you go the spirit of the year here? Okay. Now, those first you have Edubatal, a truly aja, near life. Then you negotiate, say, he can every year, every month, or every week, or as you like. Your goal for the year, you present it. Most times, we don't know the difference between goals and wishes. Many people carry wishy-washy ideas and present it as goals. What is different between goals and wishes? I need your input there. What's the difference between goals and wishes?
Goals being in money, with the wishes being in there, the wish you gave it, what they were.
Goals are realistic.
Yes, yes.
Goals are realistic thoughts.
Okay.
While wishes are.
I say goals are tangible, realistic projects. Why wishes? Wishes are also desires. So, wishes are desires without foundation. Now, when you talk about goals, there could be one thing that you focus upon to achieve that will take care of all the other little things. Why wishes are a conglomerate of ideas. You want to ride a car, you want to have wear the best clothes, you want to do the wish, you want to have this. Now these myriads of wants can be taken care of by focusing on one project. And that one project become your major goal for the year, your major focus. And that is why any goal, any wish, or any idea or want that is not written down is a mere wish that will never see light of day. The difference between goals and wishes are your writing. Because the highest memory is always weaker than the weakest ink. Am I communicating here? Yes. Now the reason why you need to write down is that when you are negotiating with the spiritual forces, each time you come to offer sacrifice, there is something you remind them. And oftentimes, when you don't have a written idea, there are other pressing needs that will come and push away. You will forget your major goal or purpose. True or false? True. How many of you can remember what you asked for in January last year? That emergency situation made you forget them. How many people here can remember that you had such experience? You asked for something, and then eventually by the middle of the year, you have a pressing issue that relegated your desire at the beginning of the year to the background. Does it happen?
Yes.
This is why you must have a written goal. Because when you have it written down and you review it, when you talk about negotiating with the forces of the land or the forces of the year, it's not a one-time discussion. You constantly go back, at least on a monthly basis, to review where you are, to appreciate those that have been achieved, to renegotiate or to reorganize the ones that are yet to be achieved with your sacrificial offering. You do not command the day or the year without sacrifice. The key element of commanding or negotiating with the year is with your sacrifice. Maka aka nri kwa aka ebe aka nri. Remember that only ife nwata ji ya ụgwọ. So in the process of commanding, you are simply covenanting with the forces of the year that this is my desire for this year, and this is what I will be given in return for the achievement of this. Now, most times, whenever this agreement is reached, I always advise people, or request those forces to come in the dream to show you the outcome of your negotiation. Ndị dubatara the spirit of the year. Have you had any dream about it?
No.
Okay. Did you request the spirit to come in your dream for interaction?
No.
You did not. If you don't ask for, how will you get? This is where we get things wrong. Whenever you are having any spiritual agreement, whenever you're offering any sacrifice, more chigio, more wana, it is a must, it is a necessity that you request His presence in your dream to show you the outcome of your discussion. Am I communicating here?
Yes, sir.
This is how you will be able to assess what you have done. Whenever I'm working for anybody, I always request of that spirit to go to the person to show him the outcome of this negotiation. Because you cannot command the forces that you don't see. Rather, they see you and they can command you. They can influence you. But when you talk about command, you're talking about influencing. You're talking about forcing. But in negotiating with the forces of nature, it is a symbiotic negotiation where you discuss a win-win situation. I will give you this in expectation of this. When you have done this negotiation and you offer the sacrifices, requesting that the spirit or the deity should show itself in your dreams for you to see the outcome, it eventually comes. And one of the things it does is for you to know the outcome of your request if there are areas you need to adjust. When I was beginning the journey into the spiritual arena, I read one particular book on how to call up a particular deity. And so, what I did, I went to buy the file needed, and they said on a night of full moon, I should go on a junction and offer the sacrifice, calling up the deity. So, I traveled to the village. At that particular night, I went there to offer that sacrifice, and I went home. Now, I forgot that I did a certain ritual. In the dream, I saw where I was in the room, and there were horses led by their commander. They were coming to meet me where I was sleeping, where I was lying down. So when I saw the crowd and the horse, the speed with which they were coming, I jumped out of the window and I took off. So when I was running, then I heard my name being called. So when I thought back, I saw it was the leader calling me. He said, "You called us. Where are you going?" He said, "You called us. Where are you going?" Okay, then I remembered, I made some ritual. I now came back. When I came back, I was panting, and I woke up. When I went to consult the oracle said that I called the forces of the junction. But I did not give them assignments. That's why when they came, I didn't have anything to tell them. I don't know if you're learning something out of this.
Yes.
Any spirit you call is bound to answer. But if you did not have a concrete negotiation with or discussion with that spirit, you find out that it has fulfilled its purpose by answering you and looking at you and nothing more. Am I communicating?
Yes.
That is why the highest secret of commanding the year, of negotiating with the spirit, is imagination. When you call for the spiritual forces, when you have set up the altar, and you now want to negotiate what you want with the spirit, you should have gone through your goals already, so that when you sit or stand before that altar, you can close your eyes. Having told you what you want, you can close your eyes and begin to imagine the outcome of your desire. You imagine the purpose for which you are bringing that sacrifice to that deity. In other words, when you come before the deity of the year, Chinachi Afo Idu Batal, you should visualize what you want for the year. Whenever there's something about visualization, you can write 1,000,000 words of what you want, but when you're visualizing, you cannot visualize the situation of life you want to be. True or false? And that is the goal. The other ones are the wishes. If your goal is to have the experience where you will build a 4-story building within this year, writing to have money for the spirit of the year to give you money to build upstairs is unnecessary, because all you have to do is visualize yourself in possession of that structure. Am I communicating?
Yes.
And so in your writing, in your goal for the year, you simply write your script of gratitude for possession, for acquisition of that structure at so and so time of the year. And so when you visualize this and you offer the sacrifice, you will now request of that spirit to show you the outcome of this negotiation in your dream state. After that sacrifice, within 8 days, it's a must that you will dream about that very thing or that very purpose for which you have negotiated. Am I communicating? These are the steps towards commanding the year for success. Because the spiritual forces are very keen. They operate on the subconscious level. And so your thoughts, your imagination are subconscious tools that you present to the subconscious forces. They are harmonious with each other. And what their duty will now be to activate by the sacrifice you are giving them, to begin to awaken situations and experiences and contacts that will eventually lead to you being in possession of that which you have requested. Am I clear on this direction?
Yes.
Are there questions? Because we have just started the year, it's important within this first month we take these steps so that we can be able to be among those that will say, thank you with our sacrifice when we are sending forth the year 2023 by December 31st. Yes, question there. Yeah, behind.
Ajụjụ m na-ajụ dịka
Direct straight, yes.
ajụjụ m na-ajụ sị dịka otu a anyị nwa ma ọ masị gị m ka ha gosi m onwe ha iji mata na ha nabatara ebereta mụ na ha ma m nwere ike imegharị ya.
That's why I said between now and the month, you can always have time. The only time you want to offer sacrifice. So you ought to do, take sacrifice, go to your altar and tell it that you want it to come in the dream to show you the outcome of your negotiation. Remember the key words. You want to know the outcome. You're not asking whether they accepted it. Because when it shows you that they accepted it, it's of nothing to you. But when you're shown the outcome, there are things you may have asked that may not be in your own interest. You may not know. But when you're shown the outcome of your request, you will now see whether what you ask for is what you really want, so that you can renegotiate. Am I communicating?
Yes.
Are you aware that there are certain things you may ask for that may harm you in the future that you're not aware of now? Am I talking to somebody?
Yes.
I need us to communicate. Sit down, please. There are people who, at least I've had experiences of people who come here, they love a particular woman or a particular man, they want to marry the person at all costs. And they've done everything. Some even have gone to the extent of doing some love charm. But when you consult the oracle, you find out that that marriage will lead to untimely death if the person enter into that marriage. But he asked for it, he has activated forces that will give him without knowing. So that's why it's important you ask for the outcome. Ask to be shown in your dream state the outcome of your desire. And remember, anything you see in the inner world is an information of a already anchored experience in the inner world. Although that is why every prophecy is subject to change. It is a prophecy of things that are on their way into your universe. And so it's up to you now to cream your dream. When we talk about creaming your dream, there may be some areas of the dream that you don't like, and then you will take sacrifice to go and renegotiate. Nanka choromia, oya wasi ka ebupu akalogori, ka ebupu the negative aspects of those expectation, so that you will only have those ones that are in harmony with your desires. Does that answer the question? All right, you.
Question. Come on, you do better. I was also the year, and them around. Based on do better the year, do better for any even Nazai. So more, there come by. Yeah, what has in here?
Good. Because he will kind of wait on at the same time. So life is taking stage by stage. I have always said this, one thing at a time. There are levels of spirituality you reach that you can handle many things at the same time, where you can be detached even in your inner world. So what you have is information has been given to you about the things you do, but you are not able to separate them. So if you come to me to interpret to you, okay, forgive him, wake up, so your experience is true of us. So you don't have to go to bishop. Father, wake up. Yes, any other question then? So we can write on this session. All right. I think we have successfully discussed how to command your year for success. True or false?
True.
Nobody here or anybody who is listening to this or who will ever view it any day will have reason not to understand the steps towards commanding the year for success. I want to thank every one of you. Ka Chukwu ka ma gọzie unu n'ike nke ya dị nsọ.